Good morning, beautiful people of the world. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Woo, it's Tuesday, October 28th, 2025. I'm going to put these videos up once I get back on YouTube, which should be tomorrow. Because I got the strike last Wednesday, so it's a week that you can't post when you get the first strike. So yeah, I should be able to post on here tomorrow. But when you see this video, I'm gonna post these some of the videos anyway. I'm gonna post them as if I'm posting on YouTube. And I really want to thank those of you that have reached out to me personally through email, Facebook Messenger, however way you've done it, to say how much you guys miss me and how you are pissed off as I am in regards to the bullshit with YouTube. And I've tried really hard not to think about it, not be depressed about it, you know, all of that. It's been hard, it really has. And to keep me away from my fans or my supporters or subscribers, whatever you may want to call them, I think is so unfair, especially when there was really no need to. I'm really angry about how they went about doing what they did. But it's okay. It's okay, because we're gonna move right along. And I don't know who I need to talk to or how I need to do it, but I really want to start my own broadcasting company. I just don't know how to start or where to start or how to get it up off the ground, because I know you need money to do it, and I don't have any money. But I'm going to be looking into that. So it is Tuesday. By the time you see this video, we will be in Thursday. And today is Truthful Tuesday. We do Truthful Tuesday. Truthful Tuesday. Mondays are just, you know, saying, hey, how are you? How was your weekend? Getting reacquainted. Tuesday is Truthful Tuesday. Wednesday is Hump Day. We're trying to get over the hump and get through the week. And then on Thursday, we do Throwback Thursday, where we do a we post a throwback memory, writing it, or we go to my community page, which you all can't do right now, but hopefully you will. And we go to my community page, and we upload throwback pictures and memories. So we'll get back to that. You know, the YouTube community page, they took that down. So yeah, they just did the most. They've done the most. But anyway, so Thursday we do Throwback Thursday, and on Friday we party. Friday is a party, and we have a party every Friday over here on CC's Fashion Is My Passion, unless something is going on. But if nothing is really major going on with me, then we party. And if nothing is major going on with you, then we party, right? Because we're at the end of the week. And then Saturday, we run errands, and we talk about what we possibly might be doing on the weekend. And then Sunday, we're just winding down from the weekend. And Sunday, we usually do some type of fashion haul, if there's one to do. Right? Amen, somebody. Amen. So in any event, today is Truthful Tuesday. And with that being said, I have a truth. And I thought that I have two, but I may not get to both. So I may have to save one for another day. But I feel like I'm getting a cold. I got some ginger tea that I made this morning. My stomach is still feeling a little topsy-turvy. I do really believe I had a little bit of food poisoning. I never threw up, but yeah. But anyway, with that being said, today is Truthful Tuesday. And because I have two of them, I may not be able to speak on both. Because one may take longer than the other. So today is, as I said, I know y'all like if you say that one more time. So when we do Truthful Tuesday, this is a day that allows you to come on and write something that is your truth. No matter what it is. It could be, your Truthful Tuesday could be that you love Oreo cookies and you love to dip them in milk. Your Truthful Tuesday could be something that's going on with you, something that you having some issues with, and you just want to vent, you just want to talk your Truthful Tuesday talk, right? So that's what Truthful Tuesday is about. So what I was going to talk about, I'm not going to talk about, but I am going to talk about it at some point. However, because of something that happened last night, this is my truth. So, I am annoyed and pissed off with the fact that how should I say it? Okay, so let me go back. So the other day, Christopher and I were in the car. Sunday, whatever day I went live. That was Sunday, yeah. So he comes and he gets in the car after I got off my live on YouTube, on Facebook, and he came in the car and he said, I want to talk to you about something. And so I said, okay, what's up? He said, well, I've really been thinking and kind of, contemplating about reaching out to my father. So I said, okay. And he said, because I still have his number. He said, I just have him on block. And I said, okay. I said, and so do I. I said, I still have his number as well, but he is on block. So he said, well, I was just thinking that, I should maybe reach out to him and let him know, that I forgive him for him not being in my life, for him not, what in the world is going on right here? For letting him, to let him know that I forgive him for him not being in my life. He said, and, I feel like I need to be the bigger person. Well, he had said that to me one other time, and I really kind of, like, it's a lot of traffic out here for 5:51 in the morning. I'm a little late, but I'm not late to work. I'm late getting where I need to get to, which is work. So he said, yeah, he said, I just feel like maybe, I should be the bigger person. So I didn't say anything because I was just listening to him, right? I was just listening and just trying to listen and not respond, but just listen. He said, so yeah, so I don't know. He said, I'm thinking about doing that. He said, and just telling him, that I forgive him, so forth and so on. He said, so I just wanted to know what you thought. So I said, well, if that's where your heart is leading you to do so, I said, then do that. I said, you have to do what you feel is right for you. I said, if it gives you some type of validation, if it gives you some type of closure, I said, what have you, I said, then by all means, do it. So yesterday, he brought it up again. And he said, I'm just going to be the bigger person. So as I'm listening to him say that word, to be the bigger person. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. I said, stop. Hold on a second. I said, hold on. I said, Anthony is not your father. I'm sorry. I said, I wish he wasn't. I said, Anthony is not your friend. Anthony is not your friend. You are not, you don't have beef with him. You all ain't had an argument. He's not like your best friend that you had a issue with, and you said, you know what, this is my friend. I'm gonna be the bigger person. I'm gonna settle this. I said, what are you settling with him? What are you settling up with him? So he just looked at me kind of funny. And I said, let me explain something to you. I said, he doesn't get to hear you say, oh, I forgive you and I'm going to be the bigger person. I said, you ain't did a motherfucking thing to his fat, funky ass. You ain't did shit but exist. I said, it ain't like he didn't want you. I said, he wanted you. I'm the one who didn't want a baby with him. I'm the one who wanted the abortion, not him. And I just told him the facts, because he's heard this story before. I said, this is nothing against you and who you are. I said, but my choice was because I knew what kind of fucked up situation I was in, and I didn't want to bring a baby into that. And I didn't want no baby. Number one, I didn't want no children. I never wanted children. I told him that. That's the honest to God truth. I said, I never wanted children, and I never wanted to have no baby by that bum. I said, but whatever way, I said, Christopher, you are not a mistake. I said, but you were not planned. I said, he's the mistake. He was the mistake, not you. The only good thing that came out of that relationship or that situationship or whatever the fuck it was, because we were in a relationship, I said, the only good thing that came out of that relationship was standing right here in front of me. I said, and out of that relationship, I said, out of that relationship, I said, there was two people who were consenting, grown adults, and was very aware of what they were doing. I said, but no, you were not planned. We did not sit down and say, let's have a baby. We did not sit down and say, you want to have a baby? I said, Christopher, I was well grown. I was 38 years of age when I had you. I wasn't 15. I wasn't 16. I wasn't 17. I wasn't a teenage mom. So the point that I'm trying to make to you, this is what I was saying to him. I said, although you were not planned, I said, he wanted you. I said, he wanted you. He begged me not to have an abortion because how badly he wanted you. Oh, this is my chance. This is what he told me. Oh, this is my chance. This is my chance to have a baby. This is my chance to be a better father, because I didn't get that chance with my first child because I was in and out of jail, and which was true, and I was young. But I get a second opportunity to be a father. In 18 years, you ain't been one. And you ain't been one because you don't want to be one to Christopher. You ain't been one because of me. That's why you haven't. You better get up off my ass. I know that much. The fuck? Fuck wrong with you? Stupid motherfucker. Sorry, y'all. He was so close on me, I thought he was gonna hit me. These people are crazy as hell. You ain't in that big of a hurry to get no goddamn where. Stupid ass. you know, I said, you haven't done anything to him. I said, you haven't done a damn thing to him. I said, you haven't done nothing to him. I said, you haven't done anything to warrant that you need to be the bigger person. I said, this ain't no argument. This ain't no, oh, well, you know, let's settle this. I said, what are you settling with him? I said, he's a father. He's a parent. What he should do for you is what he should do for you because he's a parent. I said, this ain't no friendship. This ain't no relationship. This ain't no, oh, well, let's come together and let's make up. Make up for what? I said, you ain't did nothing to him. So I broke a lot of things that I'm not gonna break down here with you all, but I broke a lot of shit down to him because I needed him to understand. And so then he said, so he was listening to me. I said, do you understand the correlation? Do you understand that you've done nothing wrong? I said, so are you telling me that your pure existence of being born, you're to blame for that? He was like, no. I said, so if you want to call him to talk to him, fine. But don't get on that phone talking about you forgive him. I said, even if you wanted to say that, I said, but don't talk about you being the bigger person. No. I said, he don't get that. Sorry. No. I said, he is not worthy of hearing you say you're the bigger person because you ain't did a goddamn thing. You are a child. And I told him, I said, Christopher, I said, as badly as I didn't want children, I said, I could not imagine life without you in it. I said, you are the best thing that ever happened to me. I said, I tell you that all the time because it's the truth. I said, I didn't know how to be a parent. I didn't know how to be a mother. I didn't know. I said, I struggled the first, a couple of years of your life when you was, I said, even all the way up until you was 2. I said, I was struggling because I was like, man, whoo, this is, I said, but the moment I set eyes on you and I looked down at you and I held you in my arms, I said, I fell in love. Although I may not have known how to do this, or I may not have known how to do that, or I may have been struggling, or whatever the case may be. Okay, what the fuck is going on right here? What y'all doing? I said, even though I may have had all of that going on, I said, even though I may have had all of that, I said, I fell in love with you. And I said, Christopher, I said, let me tell you this. I said, let me tell you about being a parent. I said, when Anthony say this stupid bullshit about, I just don't know how to be a father. I don't know how to be a father. I said, let me tell you, none of us know how to be anything until we are that, are it. And I said, well, let me tell you what being a father is. Let me tell you what being a mother is. Showing up. Let me tell you what being a mother is and a father is. It's being there. Showing up and being present in every aspect of your child's life, whether you got a little money or a lot of money. I said, a parent showing up when you get sick, showing up when you're doing good, showing up and being there for you no matter what. no matter what is going on, you show up. I said, well, ain't nobody gave nobody no written handbook on how to be a parent. I said, yeah, I can look at this person, and I can look at that person, and I can take a little bit from her, and I can take a little bit from him, and I can say, you know what, that's a good idea. I'm going to do this with my kid. I'm going to do that with my kid. I said, but the reality of it is, Christopher, we don't know how to parent until we become one. We do the best that we can. We also, not only do we do the best that we can, we learn as we go. I said, it's like being on the job and you have on-the-job training. You may have the experience of that job, but you've got to learn the totalities of that department and that job and how they do what they do. I said, that's how we learn. I said, nobody tells you, oh, you know, you should do it this way or you should do it that way. I said, yeah, true enough, we can look at other people and we can say, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that, or you know, I think I should do this, so I think I should do that. I said, yeah, we can do that. I said, but we don't know until we actually have to do it what it's going to be like. I said, so this whole bullshit with him talking about, I don't know how to be no father. I said, he ain't never tried to be one. He ain't never tried to be one. So therefore, he does not know how. Because he has never tried. Because he doesn't care. He does not care. I said, you and Anthony ain't had no argument. Y'all ain't got into it. And you got to be the bigger person regarding him in no shape, form, or fashion. Okay, he's driving too slow now. He was just driving too slow. I said, no. I said, if you want to call him up and you want to tell him that you forgive him, okay. But don't call him up talking about, well, I was calling you because I want to be the bigger person. I said, fuck him. And I said it just like that. Because how do you, as a grown up, you have a child. You have a child and you decide, I knew he was going to run that light. And you decide that you are not, and you decide that you just not, you ain't going to do nothing for your child. You walk, he said, because I don't understand it. I just don't get it. I don't understand how he just never think about me enough to even say, you know, happy birthday to me. I said, because he doesn't care. I said, he doesn't do anything for you, not because he really don't care, or because he really don't. I said, he loves the ideal of you. I said, Christopher, I said, I'm gonna tell you this again, because I really want you to understand it. I know you don't understand. And what breaks my heart is when he starts crying. It breaks my heart when he starts crying. And as he stood there and the tears began to roll and he lifted, you know, he's trying not to cry, right? What children don't understand is that they are the ones caught in the middle of the bullshit. So even though he knows that the reason why Anthony is not in his life is because of me, because Anthony is pissed with me, because I didn't stay in that fucked up abusive relationship. But the person who has been hurt the most out of all of it has been Christopher. Because he's had to grow up 18 years of not having an active parent father in his life. Not somebody who is wheelchair bound. No offense to anybody who is. Not somebody who is in a nursing home where he can't be around him. Not somebody that's dead. He ain't been dead. He's alive and well. He will not even acknowledge him on his birthday. I'm going to punch in. Oh, sorry, y'all. I went in there. I said, is Pierce here today? Because y'all know the man who I normally park. I'm moving my car. But anyway, they said, no, he's not here today. I said, okay. I said, I'm finna move in his spot. So I'll be closer to the door. Yeah, I'll be close. He normally parks right here by the door. And they start at 6. And it's 6:13. So after I went and punched in, their office is right here. So I went to the cage. I said, is Pierce here? I said, because if he not, I'm finna park in this spot. I said, I got a parking spot, but I want to be closer up here. And they was like, If he ain't here by now, he probably ain't coming. So they went back and asked somebody, and they said he wasn't there. But anyway, you know, I have an issue. I have an issue with a person who's walking around able-bodied, eating good every day, getting fat about a fucking day, and you can't pick up the phone and say, do he need anything? You know, I told Christopher last night, I said, I know me telling you that the reason why he don't do this, that, and the third is because of me. That still does not heal your heart. I know that's why you upset. I know that's why you're in tears. Because he's caught in the middle. And I said, Christopher, I said, what I'm going to apologize to you for is the fact that I got into this type of a situation and I brought a child into it. It's not fair to you. It's not right. You're in the middle of something that you had nothing to do with. But I have, as a mother, I have did the best that I could do to be where I needed to be and to be present. And I told him, I said, I love you. I said, I don't care who don't love you, who don't want to do for you. I said, Christopher, you drive me nuts. You drive me crazy. You get on my nerve. You make me mad. I said, but I will kill a motherfucker about you, including your fat ass daddy. When he threatened him when he was 13, when Christopher asked him, why don't you keep in contact with me? And he got out of his motherfucking body with my son. Y'all know how I roll. I was on the phone. You fat funky bitch. Don't you ever. You ain't got a motherfucking right to say shit to him. You ain't raised him. You ain't been here. You ain't did shit for him. How dare you? You ought to humble your motherfucking self. You ought to be kissing his motherfucking feet, bitch, because you ain't did shit. You miss his birthday and I hope you looking, because you a nosy motherfucker, and I know you watch my YouTube channel. I'm about positive that you do. So I hope you see this video. You fat, Warris, funky ass bitch. You nothing having ass, don't want nothing, son of a bitch. You ain't shit. And if you a mother and a father and you don't take care and you don't do for your child, and I'm not talking about financially, I'm talking about showing up. I'm talking about being there on those important days, them good days, and them bad days. You ain't shit. I don't give a fuck if you a woman or a man. If you are a deadbeat parent, you ain't shit. If drugs, if dick, if pussy, if gambling, if hanging out, snapping your fingers, twerking your ass, partying, if that is all more important than your child, you ain't shit. Anything and anybody that you put in front of your child, you ain't shit. You a low-life scumbag motherfucker. And I hope karma find you on the rest of the days of your life. Whatever happened to you, you fucking deserve it, because there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Because if you wanted to be a mother, if you wanted to be a father, you would be that. Kids don't require a lot of anything. All kids want you to do is be present. But you have missed every single birthday that this child has had from the age of 1 to 18. You have never sent a card through the mail with even $5 in it. Not even some McDonald's gift cards. As much as that boy loved Happy Meals. was buying one for him almost every week. But it's amazing to me that your fat, funky ass know how to buy your mama a card. You've done nothing. You've done nothing. All you've done is try to put blame. What I would have, what I should have, what I could have. But your mama. When he was supposed to come see him last year. Well, you ain't gonna control you. No, but this is the thing. This is what came out of his mouth. I will be there on Monday. I'm going to call you when I get in town so I can talk to Christopher. I'm going to call you so I can talk to Christopher. And then we're going to set up a day and a time where we can all meet. This is what he told me out of his fucking mouth. You put your mama up to doing your bullshit as you always do, and she fell for it. She fell for it. You put your mama in a situation that your mama didn't need to be in, but she fell for it because she trying to, let's see if we can get, I really want you and Christopher to connect, being who she is, right? So she falls for it. So she falls for it. And the way she went about it, I didn't like it. Because she should have had that conversation with me first before she even brought it to him. But she didn't. But okay. Your mama say this is what you want to do. So I call him myself and say, what's the plan? Well, I'm going to be there a whole week. I'm going to be there from blah, 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 blah until after the 4th of July. His birthday is June 21st. June 29th, I had my housewarming party. So now he was supposed to call me on Monday. Monday came and went. Tuesday came and went. Wednesday came and went. Thursday came and went. Friday, I text him. The next day, I'm having my housewarming party. I text him. I said, are you here? That's just how I said it to him. I said, hey, good morning. Are you here? I don't even think I spoke. I think I just said, are you here? Meaning, are you here in Chicago? Because he lives in Kentucky. It took him 3 hours to respond. So when he did respond, he said, and to be honest with y'all, to be real honest with y'all, I was hoping he was going to say, no, I'm not here. I had something happen and I wasn't able to come. Because that would have made me feel better knowing that, he wasn't able to make it. So I would have been able to tell Christopher, well, he was coming, but this, that, and the other happened. But no, just my luck. This fat, funky bitch. This nothing ass, having ass motherfucker said, yeah, I'm here. I said, you told me you were going to call me Monday so that you could talk to Christopher. Hold on. Hey.
I'm going to be off Thursday and Friday. If you want to stop.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you. Love you.
All right, girl.
I'm glad to hear that. Gotta remember that. So, he says, see, all of them starts at 6. This guy, the one that just came out here, the guy who parked here, and the other guy over on the other side, they all start at 6. So they be here early. So by the time I get here, but they've been parking here for years. And I try to be respectful and not take people parking space. That's why I always ask. There's been a few times that I didn't ask and I just parked here because, you know, I just assumed. But I'm gonna make sure to get here early so I can get this spot. I mean, if I don't get it, I got somewhere to park because I get here early enough. But gotta get some more of this. I'm scraping to the bottom. So I was hoping that he was gonna say, no, I'm not here. I'm not in Chicago because such and such and such happened, right? That's what I was hoping. But that's not how it went. Yeah, I'm here. So I said, you told me that you were going to call me and you didn't. And I have not heard from you. And I said, so I just assumed that you were not here. I said, what happened to you calling me to let me know when you got here so you and Christopher could talk on the phone and we could figure out when to get together? I said, what happened to that? I was gonna call you. I was gonna call you, but now at that time he had a girlfriend. He had a girlfriend. So, because he had this new girlfriend, he was all, you know, she was more important. He was trying to get out there. She lived out in some suburb. He ain't with her no more. Not that that means anything. He met her on some kind of dating site or something. Something. I don't know. Anyway. I don't think he told this girl, this woman, that he had a child that lived in Chicago, 2 children, one that's grown. And a teenager that lived here. I don't even think he told this woman that. So instead of him calling me to talk to his child, he decided that he was going to go on out to his woman's house and he would see Christopher, you know, and call Christopher after he kicked it. So he was here for his birthday. And whatever they did or whatever they had planned or whatever, which that wasn't a problem. Go do your thing with your woman. Go do your thing. All I wanted to know was when you were planning to get with him, because I was busy. I was busy and I was trying to get my housewarming. I had stuff to do for my housewarming party. So all I wanted to know was, what's the plan? So I'll know how to move, you know, in what I'm doing. just let me know. If he had said, Sherelle, you know what? I don't I'm gonna be doing this because I'm here. I'm with my lady friend. First of all, motherfucker, I don't care if you fucking a cat. I don't care if you fucking a pig. I don't give a fuck who you with. I don't want you. All I wanted to know was, what is the plan for you and Christopher getting together? Because how the fuck do you think he gonna get there? I'm bringing him. He don't have a car. He don't drive. So I need to know, what are we planning? And I even told him, I said, well, I got something going on Saturday the 29th. I said, so if we can get together during the week, or we can get together after that, maybe the next day. I said, you say you're going to be here till the 4th of July. I'm off, blah, 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 blah. He did not leave here. He came here June 18th. And he did not go back home until July 7th. So he had ample time to get together with him. So I said to him, he said, well, I was going to call you. But, and let you know. I said, it's Friday. You said you was going to call me Monday when you got here in town, so you could talk to Christopher. I said, this is what you said. I know what I said. Now he getting all defensive in the text. This is a text message. I never talked to him on the phone. Yeah, I know what I said. But I'm gonna get with him. I'm gonna get with him. I just don't know what day. You've done all of this ruckus with your mama. You've had your mother call. You've had your mother sit in Christopher's face. We went over to his mama's house. She made my mother and I a Mother's Day basket. She makes these baskets. You had your mother. Do all of this intervention for you to say you don't know what day. Excuse me? So I said, so you don't know what day? I said, really? So now I'm mad. Cause see, now you want to play in my face. And you think you're gonna play in Christopher's. And you not. So I said, you don't get to pick and choose when you see him. I said, that ain't how it go. I said, it's Friday. You told me you were going to call me on Monday. I said, 4 days have passed. I said, I had to reach out to you. So when were you going to reach out to me? When were you going to reach out to me to say, Sherelle, do you think you can bring him to my mama's house Sunday or blah, blah, blah? And I had already told him that Christopher said, I do not want to go up to his mother's house and sit there and talk to him. I would prefer that he came down because I don't know how I'm going to be feeling or how I'm going to react. And I just don't, I don't want to be in her house because it may go left. So I would prefer he came downstairs or we met somewhere else. So he repeats that to his mother, but the way he tell his mother that he tells his mother a different story that made her think that Chris was saying, or I was saying, we didn't want to come to her house. Why she took it that way, but I don't know how it was presented to her either. But if she had called me and asked me, which she did when I called her, she said, did you say, or did Christopher say? And I explained it to her. But instead of her listening to me, and instead of her, but he had already got in her head. He had already got in her head. That's when she cussed at me. You fucking crazy. Both of y'all are fucking crazy. Get the fuck off of my phone. That's what she said to me. Both of y'all are crazy. But you inserted yourself in something that had nothing to do with you. You let him do this to you. Wave something in your hand of a promise. Mama, I really want to see my son. Mama, I really miss Chris. I know I need to do better. Mama, I know I need to do right, Mama. Oh, Mama. So you let him set you up in some bullshit. And what did he do? He played in your face and he played in mine. But more importantly, he played in somebody's who has a heart that not you, not your mama, not your fat funky ass, me, I had to put him back together again. Months. July, August, September, October. I mean months that I had to see this boy cry. Why would he do me like that? Why did he say he wanted to see me and then he did? Okay. And you gonna call him up and tell him that you the bigger person? Oh, no. Not on my watch, you not. Not on my watch, you not. Mm-mm. Not on my watch. I know they're going to have a conversation one day because Christopher wants to have a conversation with him and he want to tell him some things. And I told Christopher, I said, I'm telling you now, be prepared. Be prepared for him to deflect. Be prepared for him to blame it on me. Be prepared for him not to take any responsibility. He's 57 years of age. And he's 7. You take that 5 off and you leave that 7. That's how old he is. 7-year-olds have more sense than him. There's no way that you can tell me that in 18 years, you couldn't have sent a birthday card. You had your mama. If you didn't want to deal with me, which motherfucker, I didn't never want to deal with your fat funky ass either. But if you didn't want to deal with me, you had your mother, your sister, your brother. It's 5 of them. One sibling has passed. And I didn't know him because he lived in Kentucky, where this bitch lived. So I didn't get to know him until way later, and then he passed. He died. He was the youngest child out of the 5. Or is it 4 of them? No, it's 4 of them. It's not 5 of them, it's 4. Anthony, Julian, Nina, and the brother that passed, Demetrius. It's 4 of them. It's Nina who has the 5 kids, his sister. So it's 4 of them. So as much as I'm with his sister, as much as his sister and I are friends, but she's Christopher's auntie. But she and I are friends. we've only had one little incident where we kind of like got into it. Had like it wasn't even that we got into it. We had a disagreement about something. But there was another time that we all went to this vacation resort. And I don't know what was wrong with her, but I had to get her told. And then she apologized. I don't remember what it was. But she's been the best auntie to Christopher. She goes beyond, over and beyond for Christopher. Because she's trying to compensate for what her brother don't do. And I get that. I get that. Because I would do the same thing if I had a brother who didn't do shit for his kids. Don't tell him I ain't gonna tell him that. He'll find out on his own. But you know, I guess the point that I'm trying to make to y'all is that I don't ever want my child to feel like he gotta be the bigger person when it comes to a grown ass person who know better. I was just floored with that. I said, nah, you don't have to be the bigger person. No, that's not. I said, first of all, when you tell him that you've forgiven him, I said, he gonna be offended by that. I said, you know why? Because he don't think he's done anything wrong. I said, in his mind, he don't think that he's been a bad parent. In his mind, he don't think that all the years that he hasn't been in your life, that it's been his fault. It's mine. It's my fault. So when you tell him that you forgive him, he gonna say, for what? I ain't did nothing. You right, you ain't did nothing. You ain't did nothing in 18 years. I said, so get ready for that. And I know some of you all that's looking at this video, you all probably say, Cece, you don't know what he gonna say. Oh, great baby girl. I do. I do. He's a bona fide, certified, got a certificate and a degree and a PhD in narcissist. I do know. I know what he gonna say. I've heard people say, oh, you know, he probably be like this with him. He won't. He won't. People say he loved Chris. How? No, he loved me. He wanted me. He's the female version of what females do. What females do when the guy don't want them. When you can't see your child. Y'all know it's women like that. Y'all know that. My beautician is dealing with that right now. When the crazy girl, the crazy baby mama ain't tripping, they get to see the baby. When she tripping, they don't get to see the baby. So that's what Anthony is like. That's how he is. Oh, you don't want me? Well, I ain't gonna do nothing for him. Because how do you let another human being keep you from seeing and being in your child's life? Even if you know that person can't stand you, you gonna make sure that you do what you're supposed to do. I don't care what I was or what I wasn't. I don't care if I can't stand you. I don't care if every time I see you, I want to spit on you. It wouldn't keep me from seeing my child. And that's not his story. He can't say, oh, she made it difficult for me. I didn't make shit for you difficult because you didn't ever do nothing. He's also very jealous of the relationship that Christopher and I had because he let that slip. Yeah, I know Christopher, that's your little man. I know, I know y'all so tight. Y'all just so tight. But you know what? All I can say is Christopher is going to have to find out on his own. Which he already know. He already had a taste of him and what he was like and what he did to him when he was 13. So he already know. He already know. He already have an idea of what he's like and what to expect, because he's already encountered that side of him already. But he really got to really got to know. He really got to experience him even more to understand what he's dealing with. And unfortunately, and not that I want to, it's not about protecting him. It's just something that he needs to learn on his own in regards to him, so he can understand and so that he can see what kind of motherfucker this motherfucker is. And I told him, I said, I guarantee you, when you find out and when you see for yourself what he is and what he's like, I said, then you're going to understand. You're going to understand what I'm talking about. Because you can't understand it right now. You can't get it right now. But you will. You will. Because he's going to find out what kind of motherfucker this is. I said he's going to be on defense mode. As soon as you say, I forgive you, he's going to be like, for what? Man, I would have been in your life with your mama. Because that's what he told me the last time. Chris said, I'm 18 now. He said, I'm almost grown. And he said, and there's some things that I need to say to him. And hey, if it brings closure to you, then do it. then do it. I'm not finna stop him. Nope, I'm not. Say whatever you feel is necessary to help you get through what you need to get through. I told him, I said, don't disrespect him, but let him know where you coming from. You ain't got to cuss him out. You ain't got to do none of that. I said, because the Bible says that you are to honor your mother and your father so that your days on earth will be long. And it also says, fathers, do not provoke your children. So when you feel like you being provoked, tell him, you know what? Peace out, dude. See you around. I said, but you stay in a child's place. But letting him know you did some fucked up shit. And whatever you and my mama had going on or didn't have going on, that didn't have nothing to do with me. So I'm just going to drink my tea because I cannot wait for it to happen. Because Christopher going to see. Oh, it tastes good too. It's hot too. This is ginger tea. I bought this cup from Ross because I wanted a taller cup. It kind of burnt my lip. It's really hot. Anyway, you all, I'm going to let you all go. But I'm going to say this. And I'm going to leave you all with this. I don't care if you a male or a female. If you ain't taking care of your child, if you're not showing up for your child, you ain't shit. And I hope you fall into the pit of hell and you burn the fuck up. Because that's what you deserve. Because a child does not ever deserve to not be taken care of because of you, because you on some bullshit. And because you can't get along with that parent. I know it might be a struggle. I know it might be hard. But that child is the one that's in the middle and being affected by all of your shit. So keep using your lies and your excuses about why you don't do this and why you don't do that. Okay. Try explaining that to Jesus on Judgment Day when you go to hell. Because that's where you're going. And I hope that you get sick. And that you call for your children and your children do not come. Just like you didn't come for them. Oh, payback is a motherfucker. Because like I told Chris, I said he will get old before you get old. He will need you and your sister before you all need him. So if you a parent and you ain't out here doing what you supposed to do because you mad at the other parent and you refuse to do, or you keeping the child from the other parent because the other parent don't want you and all of this old shit. If you a woman on that, if you a man on that, you get what you get. I don't feel sorry for you. I hope you get it and then some because you deserve it. Because you're hurting the child or the children. Get it together. But don't come calling and come back for them kids when they ain't got to be a certain age and now they making money and they famous and they rich. Shaquille O'Neal's father came after he had gotten the NBA. He was like, nigga, I don't know you. Who are you? I'm your daddy. He said, no, you couldn't be my daddy. He said, because my daddy is in the house. Talking about his stepfather. He said, no, my daddy is in the house. I don't know you. I don't know you. And rightfully so. Fuck you been. You my daddy. No, you ain't my daddy. Because if you was my daddy, you would have been here. If you was my daddy, I would know you my daddy. You men ain't shit. You men ain't shit. I'm going to say it one more time. You men ain't shit. And you women ain't shit if you are keeping your children or your child away from that man because he has moved on. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. Because you is just as fucked up as the deadbeat father. You a fucked up mama. I said what I said. And I ain't taking shit back. Go report this. Anyway, y'all, that's my truth. That's my Truthful Tuesday. My Truthful Tuesday is if you a deadbeat mama, deadbeat father, you ain't shit. And I hope you burn up in motherfucking hell until eternity, because you ain't shit. And I hope the rest of your days on this earth, you suffer. I hope you suffer. I hope you have diarrhea all the rest of the days of your life. I hope that everything you put in your mouth don't taste like shit. You can't enjoy life. I hope you stay sick. I hope when you die a suffer. Hope you suffer in death. That ain't no hate shit. That's how I feel. I hope your bitch ass, whether you a male or female, I hope you fucking suffer. I said what I said, and I ain't taking it back. You don't deserve to just die a peaceful death. No, I want you to suffer. As these children out here are suffering. These children's hearts are broke. Suffer, bitch. Suffer. Just like you let that child suffer when you didn't feed that child, when you didn't make sure that child was clothed, when you didn't show up at the assembly, when you didn't show up for every birthday. You missed every birthday. I hope you have missing teeth all the rest of the days of your fucking life. Suffer. Because no child deserves to not have their parent in their life. No child. Especially when ain't nothing fucking wrong with you. Other than you fucked up and you don't want to do nothing because you just ain't shit. Simple, plain and simple. I hope you somewhere in a nursing home or a hospital room and you crying and you whining and you hollering and nobody comes. That's what you deserve. Anyway, that's my truth. Happy Truthful Tuesday. When I post this, you all let me know what your truth is. But I'm going to put this over on my CC's Fashion is My Passion Facebook page. And you all feel free to comment. Because I'm sure some of you will. Have a great day. Enjoy your day. Peace, love, and blessings. Peace. Bye, y'all.